The Reptoid machine looks to hang on to the championship flag here tonight. Then the veteran returns, Mike Lanford, and no problem. And then we've got big problems out of the 𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐞 here tonight. All that and more is next on Smashdown.
It's time for big horsepower and big hair.
You're watching Monster Truck Attitude.
Welcome to Smashdown, ladies and gentlemen, week 3 of the December season. Tonight we have got 8 of the best Diecast monster trucks ready to throw down inside of the MTA arena. Be sure to stick around and watch the entire video to the end and catch up on all the great action. Round 1 action is going to be coming at you as No Problem takes on Brutus, 𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐞 takes on Virginia Giant, then the Gravedigger set to take on Junkyard Dog, and then Gravedigger, the legend, returns to take on the champion in Reptoid. Now coming up to the line first here tonight, it's the return of Iron Mike Lanford and the all-new No Problem Ford Bronco. He's set to take on returning veteran in his own right, Greg Durbin, back here tonight in Brutus. Team Scream ready to go over on the outside lane. No Problem on the inside. Who's going to be taking home a big-time win here tonight to get week 3 of the December season started on Smashdown? Both trucks are staged. Green light goes down now. No Problem's got the early lead now. Brutus starts to make a comeback, but it's Mike Lanford in the No Problem Ford Bronco, the truck he built, sent down here to the MTA track. Seems to be running strong here tonight as he puts a fellow veteran on the trailer, and Brutus, No Problem, will advance on in the semifinal competition. As we go back down and check out the MTA replay, you can see Mike Lanford and No Problem has the inside lane pretty much covered. He's dialed in with a nice shot over no man's land. Shoot out to the finish line. Brutus gets a little crossed up, but it was all Mike Lanford in the No Problem Ford Bronco here tonight in round 1. Brutus going home early here tonight. Next up in our round 1 action, we got the return of Brian Blank out of Winchester, Virginia. The Virginia Giant Ford ready to go. He's sitting out to take on the rookie in the 𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐞. Tyler McLean out of the McLean County Monsters made his debut on the MTA circuit just a couple of months ago. Ready to throw down on the outside lane. We'll see what he's got against the Virginia Giant, who's now staged over here on the inside. We just saw Mike Lanford and No Problem get a win on the inside lane. Here's the green light matchup number 2 of round 1. 𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐞 now with the lead. Virginia Giant right there. What a landing, and over goes Virginia Giant here tonight before he gets to the finish line. What a wild matchup it was here in round 1 between the 𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐞 and Virginia Giant. We're going to go back down and check out the replay as we go back to the top of the track here. Down this straightaway, Virginia Giant got a slight bobble right there. Watch the outside, the back tires land and downsides that ramp, and then Virginia Giant gets crossed up right into the van stack. He goes. Tyler McLean and the 𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐞 come away with the victory here tonight inside of round 1. But moving right along, we've got the return of Ryan Davis and the Junkyard Dog, the beautiful 41 wheelies out of the Backyard Beast race team. He's now set to take on Kelsey McLean and the blonde of the bone Gravedigger, hailing out of Kill Hills, North Carolina, ready to throw down over here on the inside. So we got a 1950 Chevy panel wagon taking on a 1941 wheelies. What an old school matchup this will be. Who's going on in the semis? The green light goes down and down the straightaway. Junkyard Dog's got a lead. Here comes the Gravedigger now. Passes him on the big end, and over she goes inside of the shutdown area. The Junkyard Dog had that race covered. Something went wrong with that truck. Not sure what happened as he got into no man's land, and the Gravedigger made a comeback. As we go back and look at the replay here, JYD with a big time lead up and over the first jump now. Tries to settle it down. He downsides it nice, but not sure what happened to the Junkyard Dog. But in the end, the Gravedigger gets the big time victory here tonight inside of round 1. Over she goes. Hopefully just some cosmetic damage, and the Gravedigger should be back for semifinal action. But now we get set and ready to close out round 1 competition. It's your boy Shaggy, Matt Cheever, returning here tonight inside of Gravedigger the Legend. He's now going to take on defending champion, the new kid on the block. Made his MTA debut just last week and came onto the scene, rocked the boat, and he took home the championship flag in his first week. We're going to see here tonight if he can hang on to that flag here in round 1 to take on the veteran Shaggy and Gravedigger the Legend. Here's the green light now, and the Legend's got a whole shot, slight bubble for Reptoid on the inside lane, up and over no man's land. What a matchup here tonight. And it looks like Declan Keller and Reptoid may hang on to that championship flag as we move on into our semifinal competition. Hell, a ride it was. There's Gravedigger the Legend over there on the outside. He pretty much even now as they hit the first jump. Watch the downside now. Shaggy's got a good run at it, but Reptoid makes a comeback on the big end. He'll hang on to the championship flag going into semifinal action. And speaking of semis, we're now down in the pit area with Tyler McLean in the 𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐞. Earlier tonight, we saw him downside the ramp. What they did is they snapped off the rear tie rod. That's why the truck shot towards the inside wall earlier tonight. He is now getting that truck 100% ready. They should be back for our first matchup of semifinal competition. So a small update here tonight from the Oz Monster camp as we get ready to see how semifinal action is going to be shaken down. No Problem set to take on the Oz Monster. Then the other side of the bracket, Blonde to the Bone Gravedigger's coming back to take on defending champion and Reptoid. And that is how semifinal action is going to be shaken down here in week 3 of the December season on Smashdown. First up coming to the line, the veteran Iron Mike Lanford in the No Problem Ford Bronco. That truck's been running strong since it made its debut at full throttle a couple of weeks ago. He's now set to take on the Oz Monster. New truck, new driver to the MTA scene. That truck's been dominant as well, showing some bad fast runs. This matchup ought to be a dandy here. Who's going to the finals? No Problem and Oz Monster. The green light goes down. They're pretty much even down the straightaway. Shoot out to the finish line. Hard crash for Kyle McLean and the Oz Monster, and No Problem will come away with a championship victory here tonight. And it makes you wonder if the tie rod on the back of the Oz Monster gave way once again, this time in semifinal action, trying to make it to the championship round. We go back and take another look at the replay. They come down the straightaway. Watch the Oz Monster on the inside. Hard hit right there on the rear end of the truck, and it just kind of gave way as he had that throttle down to the floorboard, slides it out from underneath of itself, lands it on top of the cars in spectacular fashion. And now our MTA track current officials are down there trying to assess the damage, what just happened to the Oz Monster. And again, earlier tonight we were talking about the tie rod issue that they had, and now you see they snapped off the right rear knuckle of the truck. The tie rod gave way once again, and as you see, the Oz Monster back now on 3 wheels, making some fans here tonight. Oz Monster out of competition and a lot of work to do for the McLean County Monsters. What a wild ride that was, but right now we're going to find out who meets up with Mike Lanford and No Problem in our final round showdown. Is it going to be 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭 McLean in the all-new Blonde to the Bone Gravedigger, or is it going to be the new kid on the block who's holding on to the championship flag this week in Reptoid over here out of Milton, Florida, powered by a big block Chevrolet on the inside lane. Looking good out here tonight in round 1. He's trying to hang on to that flag and take it to the finals for one more week. Who's it going to be meeting? No Problem. The green light goes down. The Gravedigger and Reptoid side by side. Up and over the first jump. They settle it down. And the Gravedigger pulls out a win over the new kid on the block as he got crossed up inside of no man's land, headed right towards the van stack, and he loses the championship flag here tonight in our semifinal matchup. We go back and look at the replay. Watch how even they are. Up and over the first jump. High pitch in the air for Reptoid. He settles it down. Got a little crossed up again into the van stack, and it was all Gravedigger needed here tonight to make it to the final round showdown, and that is coming up next here on Smashdown. Hey guys, Steve here with Monster Truck Attitude. If you ever thought about signing up for one of the MTA events, be sure to head over to Facebook and find our group, Monster Truck Attitude. That is where we hold all the registrations to get into these racing events, and you can see your name in lights right here on the MTA YouTube channel. Be a part of the family and get ready to lock and load on some of the greatest diecast monster truck racing. Welcome back to the MTA YouTube channel, everybody. If you have not already, be sure to head over to monstertruckattitude.myspreadshop.com and pick up all the latest and greatest MTA merchandise. If you're a fan of what we do right here on the MTA YouTube channel, again, it's monstertruckattitude.myspreadshop.com for all your MTA gear. Welcome back to Smashdown, ladies and gentlemen. We are now set and ready for week 3 of the December season's final round showdown. Mike Lanford and No Problem set to take on 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭 McLean in the Blonde to the Bone Gravedigger. Ford versus Chevrolet matchup here tonight. The 1950 Chevy panel wagon on the outside, better known as the Gravedigger, takes on the Ford Bronco on the inside. Mike Lanford built that truck himself, trying to get a win for it here for the first time on Smashdown. Ladies and gentlemen, Gravedigger, No Problem. It's showtime here tonight on Smashdown. No Problem's got a lead. Up and over the first jump down. What a ride for the Gravedigger on the inside. What a matchup here tonight. Ford versus Chevrolet. Rookie takes on the veteran, and Gravedigger down inside of the shutdown area right in front of my commentator stand. What a ride here tonight for 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭 McLean in the Gravedigger, but No Problem put on a show over here on the inside lane. As we go back and check out the replay here, No Problem with a slight lead on the inside. Watch him shoot it for the sky here. Downsides the ramp and then the outside lane. Gravedigger gets a little crossed up over the final set of cars, comes really close to my commentator stand, and right now is upside down currently out of the truck A-OK. But ladies and gentlemen, here tonight, give it up for your all-new Smashdown champion, Mike Lanford and No Problem. Ladies and gentlemen, what an exciting night of racing here in week 3 of the December season. We crown an all-new champion, the old pro, showing that he still got one more win inside the tank with a brand new truck. Be sure to drop a like on this video, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to crush that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys down the road. See you next time.